Hello there. I hope you are doing well. I'm glad to welcome you to our today's learning session. We're going to study emotional intelligence as a core competence of the board. We'll first define emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Now, emotional intelligence refers to the ability to identify one's own emotions and those of others. Then, after one identifies his or her own emotions, you then harness and apply them to tasks and to regulate and manage them. So in other words, emotional intelligence is the ability to correctly identify and monitor the emotions of self and others, and to use the knowledge to guide one's own thinking and behavior. Emotional intelligence describes the ability, the capacity, the skill, and the self-perceived ability to identify, to assess, and manage the emotions of oneself and those of others, including those of a group. And people who possess emotional intelligence have a high degree of resilience. People who possess a high degree of emotional intelligence know themselves very well, and they are also able to sense the emotions of others. These are individuals who are affable, they are resilient, these are individuals who are optimistic. So having board directors who possess emotional intelligence is a core competence of the board. And the most elements of every emotional intelligence can fit in a model, which we are going to discuss here on the board. Most elements of every emotional intelligence model fit within 4 general domains. They fit where? In 4 general domains. What we are going to call the competency framework. Emotional intelligence competency framework. Emotional intelligence competency framework. I said the elements fit into 3 generic domains. So I'm going to have a matrix on the board to demonstrate the 4 generic domains. So the first matrix, we have what we call self-awareness. 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 Then we have what we call social awareness. Social awareness. Awareness. This is self-awareness. Social awareness. Self-awareness, social awareness. You say that emotional intelligence describes the ability, the capacity, the skill, or the self-perceived ability to identify one's own emotions, self-awareness, and emotions of others. All right? So the first matrix, you have self-awareness, then you have social awareness. Number 3, self-management. Self-management, then relational management or relationship management. Relationship management. Let me push this up here. Self-management. Relationship management. Now, under self-management, we have what we call emotional awareness. Emotional awareness. We are going to discuss this in detail. Here we have empathy. To understand the emotions of others, you need empathy. You need organizational awareness. Then under self-management, you need what we call emotional self-control. 1, emotional self-control. Emotional self-control. Number 2, adaptability. Adaptability, achievement. So we have under self-management, emotional self-control, adaptability, achievement. Then 4, positive outlook. Positive outlook. We are going to look at the 4 areas in detail. Relational management, we have inspirational leadership. Inspirational leadership. Inspirational leadership or inspiring leadership. We have conflict. This is number 1. Number 2, conflict management. We can also mention influence. 3, conflict management. So we have inspiring leadership, influence, conflict management. Then lastly, teamwork or collaboration. Teamwork and collaboration. So the first 2 matrices, this one here, this matrix deals with self-awareness. This one deals with self-management. This one has to do with others. All right, social awareness. This has to do with others. Relationship management. So these are the generic domains, 4 generic domains. Remember, we've defined emotional intelligence as the ability to correctly identify one's own emotions, the ability to correctly identify other emotions of others, and then to correctly monitor, to correctly use that knowledge to guide one's own thinking and behavior. So because we are social beings, we live in society, including the board. The board comprises of people. These are individuals who have emotions. As a board member, you require emotional intelligence to correctly interact with the other board members. As a board director, you need to have emotional intelligence to be able to understand the people that you'll be serving, like the management. There is an interaction between the board members and the management. The board members also interact with stakeholders like shareholders, consultants, the employees, the government officials, and so on. So emotional intelligence is a core competence of the board. It describes the ability, the capacity, and the skill to identify and assess and also manage one's own emotions and the emotions of others, emotions of yourself, emotions of others, emotions of a group. And I said earlier that people who possess high degree of emotional intelligence know themselves very well, and they are able to sense the emotions of others. These are people who can empathize. These are people who can easily avoid conflicts. These are people who can work in a team. These are people who can provide inspirational leadership and so on. So these are the 4 generic domains. 4 generic domains. These are generic domains. So candidates, let's discuss these domains. The first one is self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is the first component of emotional intelligence, and it means having a deep understanding of one's emotions, having a deep understanding of one's strengths, weaknesses, needs, drives, and so on. Do you understand? And people with strong self-awareness are neither overly critical nor unrealistically hopeful. Rather, they are honest with themselves. They are also honest with others. So people who have a high degree of self-awareness recognize how their feelings affect them, how their feelings affect other people, and their job performance. And self-awareness extends to person's understanding of his or her values and goals. In other words, someone who is highly self-aware knows where he is headed and why. So it's important to have a board comprising of directors who have a high sense of self-awareness. And self-awareness does not only look at the positive side, no. Being self-aware means you know that human nature or human beings are not perfect, including yourself. You have weakness, just as other people have weaknesses. You have strength, just as other people have strength. When you are self-awareness, you are not overly critical because you understand that people they are at different stages of development. If you have a high sense of self-awareness, you understand that human beings undergo various changes before they reach maturity. So as a person with a high sense of self-awareness, you don't criticize people when they make mistakes, because you understand that people take time to mature. People take time to understand. So that's why it's important for the members who sit on a board to cultivate self-awareness. So individuals with this competence, self-awareness, know which emotions they are feeling and why. They know which emotions they are feeling and why. There are people who may be exhibiting certain feeling, but when you ask them why, they may not tell you. But a person who possesses this competence will know which emotions they are feeling at any given time and why they are feeling so. These individuals who have also this competence realize the link between their feelings and what they think. People who possess this competence of self-awareness realize the link between their feelings and what they think. Because we are always thinking. We are always thinking. We always think. So people with self-awareness will know why they are thinking the way they are, what they are thinking, and the emotions or the feelings behind their thinking. Or you can toss it the other way. People with this self-awareness competence understand the relationship between thought and feelings, then behavior. Okay, because behavior is preceded by feelings and thought. We think before we behave. Do you understand? They also realize or know, people with this competence know or recognize, they recognize the relationship between their thoughts or feelings and performance. They recognize how their feelings recognize how their feelings affect performance. They know how feelings affect performance. Self-awareness competence. Do you understand, candidates? We are discussing the generic domains of the emotional intelligence competency framework. People with this competence also have a guiding awareness of their values, have a guiding awareness of values or their values. They have a guiding awareness of values, of their values and goals. Values and goals. So these are very important competence that is required by every board member. Then there is self-management. Self-management. This is A. B. Self-management. Self-management. Now, self-management, also known as self-regulation, is like having an ongoing inner conversation, and it's a component of emotional intelligence that frees a person from being a prisoner of his or her feelings, or what we call biological impulses. Is an important self-management is important to leaders due to various reasons. For example, one, people who are in control of their feelings and impulses are people who are reasonable. They're able to create an environment of trust and fairness, because politics and infighting sharply reduce productivity. And talented people flock to the organization and are not tempted to leave. Another reason is that self-regulation is important for competitive reasons. And that can be due to ambiguity and change, because we have seen companies merging, companies breaking apart regularly. So people who have mastered their emotions are able to roll with the change. So individuals with the self-management competence manage the impulse feelings and distressing emotions well. All right? They manage their feelings, their distressing emotions well. 2, they stay composed and positive in trying moments. They stay composed and positive in trying moments. Why? Because they're able to manage their emotions well. They stay composed and positive in trying moments. There are people who break down in trying moments. But people who possess this competence of self-regulation, they stay unflappable even in trying moments. 3, they think clearly, and they even stay focused under pressure. Clearly and focused under pressure. They think clearly and stay focused under pressure. Then we have individuals with adaptability competence. Adaptability competence. Adaptability competence. This is the self-regulation or emotional self-control. Emotional self-control. Adaptability competence. Now, people with adaptability competence, they smoothly handle multiple demands. Smoothly handle multiple demands. They smoothly handle multiple demands, shifting priorities, rapid change, and so on. Shifting priorities, rapid change, etc. Adaptability. They are able to adapt. Someone with adaptability competence is one who can handle multiple demands, can shift priorities, can rapidly change. They can handle rapid change. They are also flexible. Adaptability competence calls for flexibility. They are flexible in how they see events. Flexible in how they see. They are flexible in how they see events. They also adapt their responses. They adapt their responses and tactics. All right? They adapt their responses and tactics. They are flexible in their responses. They are flexible in their tactics. And that is to fit fluid circumstances. To fit fluid. To fit fluid circumstances. That is adaptability competence. Adaptability competence. Then there is achievement. Individuals with achievement competence. Achievement competence. Individuals with achievement competence. Who are these individuals? Now, these are individuals who are result-oriented. Result-oriented. Individuals who are result-oriented. They don't just work. They work so that they can meet certain goal. They are result-oriented with a high drive to meet their objectives. With high drive to meet objectives. It's not just drive, but high drive to meet their objectives, high drive to meet standards. They set challenging They set high goals. They set challenging goals and take calculated risks. They set challenging goals. They also take calculated risks. They take calculated risk. Number 3, They pursue information to reduce uncertainty. These are individuals who pursue information in order to reduce uncertainty, and they also find ways to do better. Lastly, they learn how to improve performance. They learn how to improve their performance. These are individuals with achievement competence. Then you have individuals with positive outlook. Individuals with positive outlook. Individuals with positive outlook. Let me have it here. Positive outlook. Individuals with positive outlook. Now, individuals with positive outlook may also be referred to as optimism competence. Optimism competence. These are individuals who persist in seeking goals despite obstacles. They seek goals in spite of obstacles. They seek goals in spite of obstacles. They are not hindered in pursuing their goals, whether there are obstacles or not. They persist in seeking goals despite obstacles, despite setbacks. Individuals with positive outlook also operate from hope of success. They operate from hope of success. They operate from hope of success. They operate from hope of success rather than fear of failure. They operate from hope of success rather than a fear of failure. Then these individuals also see setbacks as when they are faced with setbacks, when they are faced with obstacles, they see the setbacks as due to manageable circumstances. Do you understand? When they are faced with obstacles, they look at the obstacles as circumstances that can be managed, manageable circumstances, rather than personal flaw. Do you understand? They see obstacles as manageable circumstances rather than personal flaw. I hope you relate with what I'm talking about. There are people, when they are faced with the circumstances, they easily give up. They may give excuses like that I have no required training, or I'm not I was not born to do this task, or people give excuses that is not the will of God. They may say that I'm not up to the task. They may say people are not perfect. So when they are faced with setbacks, with obstacles, they easily give up on such flimsy excuses. But individuals with positive outlook see setbacks as due to circumstances that can be managed rather than personal flaw. These are people who believe that all things are possible. They interpret the obstacle as one that can be overcome or managed. So these are individuals with positive outlook. Individuals with positive outlook. We have described the competencies: emotional self-control competencies, adaptability competencies, achievement competencies. Then there is positive outlook. Positive outlook. We are moving to social awareness. Social awareness. Social awareness. And here we have empathy. Empathy. Empathy means a leader thoughtfully considering employees' feelings along with other factors in the process of making intelligent decisions. And empathy, candidates, today is particularly important as a component of leadership for various reasons. One being the increase or increasing use of teams. A leader needs to have this competency called empathy, because in our today's society, there is increase of use of teams. And a team leader must be able to sense and understand the viewpoints of the team members. A team leader must be able to sense and understand the viewpoints of everyone around the table. That's the first reason why a leader today must have empathy competence. Another reason is the rapid pace of globalization. We have cross-cultural dialogue that can easily lead to misunderstandings. So empathy can be an antidote to such misunderstandings, because people who have it may not understand body language and so on. They may understand. People who have empathy, leaders who have empathy, will be able to have understanding. Because I've said, due to globalization, we have cross-cultural dialogue that can easily lead to miscues or can lead to misunderstanding. So a leader who has empathy can easily understand other people, because they can hear messages. When you have empathy, you can hear messages beneath the spoken word. And beyond that, such leaders have a deep understanding of both the existence and the importance of cultural and ethnic differences. Another reason why a leader ought to have this competence is in order to retain talent, the growing need to retain talent. So that is empathy competence. So in today's culture, learners, empathy is critical in order to retain talent. Leaders today need empathy in order to not only develop but also keep good people, talented people. But we know stakes are higher nowadays because when good people leave the organization, when a good director leaves an organization, they take the company knowledge with them. And retraining others to fill in their shoes can be very costly. So leaders with empathy do more than just sympathize with people around them. They use their knowledge to improve their companies in many ways. So we want to highlight the qualities or competencies of people with empathy. Individuals with empathy competence. Empathy competence.